Okay, 2.2b, here we go. Who's ready for it? This guy. You can't see, but I'm doing a big thumb pointing at me. Alrighty, parallel and perpendicular lines. See that B there? That means it's an extension, which means we should be done quick. Here we go. Parallel lines have, look at these two, maybe you can figure it out, the same slope. Boom, 1/2 x, 1/2 x, same slope. All horizontal lines have a slope of, see if we remember this from last time, horizontal lines have a slope of 0. Vertical lines have undefined slopes. Again, my beautiful handwriting coming through. Hopefully you can see that says undefined. Alrighty, let's take a look. What are we doing here? Identifying parallel lines. Which two lines are parallel? Alright, seems fair enough. The only thing we really know about parallel lines so far is that they have the same slope, so I guess what would be a good thing to do would be to figure out the slopes of all these lines. Okay, so the blue gives me 2 points on the line. That's all I really need. I'm going to stick with my y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. A little formula there to get the slopes. So let's check it out. I'm going to say that this is my 1's, these are my 2's. Okay, so y2 would be negative 2 minus y1 will be a 2. x2 will be a negative 4 minus x1, let's say, is the negative 3. Okie dokie. Now that I have that set up, negative 2 minus 2 is going to be negative 4. And negative 4 minus minus makes that a plus, so negative 4 plus 3, negative 1. Now that I have a negative 4 over a negative 1, that's negative over negative, which makes it positive. Positive 4. Now, did I have to do that using the formula? No, not really. I could have just said rise is 1, 2, 3, 4. The run is 1. 4 over 1. Why don't I do that for the red? The red goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. The red slope 5 over 1 or 5. Now for the green, let's go back to doing the formula just so that we can really solidify that. Let's say that, again, this is going to be my 1's and this will be my 2's. Alright, so y2, negative 3 minus y1, which is going to be a 1. And x2, which will be a 3, minus x1, which will be a 4. That means negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4. And 3 minus 4 is negative 1. So, what am I seeing here? I'm seeing the same thing that I saw up there. Negative 4 over negative 1 is going to be a 4. Negative over negative, positive. There we go. Let's just double check that. It goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1. Fantastic, I got it right. Now, what was I doing again? I just converted all these slopes, and now I don't even remember what I was doing. Which two lines are parallel? Okay, parallel, again, we need to remind ourselves, parallel lines have the same slope. Which two have the same slope? Blue and red, blue and green, red and green. Looks like these two guys, blue and green. And how are we going to explain that? We just need to explain that by saying parallel lines have the same slope. The blue line and the green line both have a slope of 4. Therefore, they are parallel. Alright, now let's talk perpendicular. If parallel lines had the same slope, perpendicular lines probably have somewhat of opposite slopes. And it's not as simple as just saying that they have an opposite slope. They actually have negative reciprocal slopes. Now, what does negative reciprocal even mean? Well, let's take it piece by piece. Let's say I have a number like a 3. What's the negative version of 3? Well, that's negative 3. What's the reciprocal of 3? Well, 3 is really like 3 over 1, so the reciprocal of that is 1/3. Now, what about if I were to combine those two things together, the negative part and the reciprocal part? So the negative reciprocal of 3 is negative 1/3. third. Let's try that again with something else, like 3/4. What is the negative reciprocal of 3/4? Well, the reciprocal is 4/3. The negative reciprocal would be negative 4/3. What about something that starts negative, like negative 1/2? What's the negative reciprocal of negative 1/2? Well, the reciprocal is 2. The negative reciprocal will be negative negative 2, which is just positive 2. I think we're kind of getting the idea. This is another example. Two lines that are parallel. One number is a negative 2 has the slope, and the negative reciprocal is 1/2. Now let's look at identifying which of these lines are perpendicular to each other. And just like on the front, we're going to have to try and look at what their slopes are in order to figure out if they're perpendicular or not. I'm going to do one of them by the formula. The others we'll just do by looking at them. So let's start with blue again. We'll do that by formula. Let's say these are my x1, y1s, and these will be my 2's. All right, so I'm going to be looking at 6 minus 4 over negative 5 minus 1. So that's going to be 2 over negative 6, which if I simplify, 2 over 6 is really like 1/3, and it was negative, so negative 1/3. Does that make sense? It's always a good thing to ask yourself, does what I did make sense? And let's see, this looks like it's decreasing from left to right, so negative slope, that looks good. And is it going over 3 and up 1? Let's see, over 3, down 1, over 3, down 1. Yeah, it does, because it looks like it crosses right here as well. So there's two movements of the slope between those 2 points. Very good. Now let's look at the red one. Red, again, looks like it's a negative slope, and it looks like it's going over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, down 1, 2. So over 7, down 2, and it looks like it's a negative slope. So negative 7 over 2. Interesting. Okay. Now, does that look like it's proper? This is rise over run. So is it going up 7 and over 2? No, it is not. You guys can't just trust me to do everything correctly. I need you to be there to tell me. Make sure you double check. I know you can't actually talk to me through that. What this should have looked like was 2 over 7, negative. Right? Up 2 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Very good. Now let's go green. Green looks like it is in a positive slope because it's increasing from left to right. And it looks like it's going up 1, 2, 3. Whoop, didn't want that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Up 7 and over 2. 7 over 2. And it's positive. So, which of these two numbers, or which of these three numbers, are negative reciprocals of each other? That would make them perpendicular. Negative reciprocals of each other. Well, it looks like these two are pretty close to each other. They look like they're reciprocals of each other, definitely. And one is positive, one is negative. Fantastic. Negative reciprocal. The green and the red are perpendicular lines because their slopes are negative reciprocals of each other. And that is all for this extension. Work on the assigned problems. Good luck with that. If you have any questions, remember to write them down. We'll work on them. I will talk to you all later.